And welcome back to another entry of the Chillin Chronicles. I'm your guide, Vic, aka Mr. Never Chillin', and let's dive in and journey through today's topic. But before we do so, be sure to subscribe, and turn the bell on so you don't miss on any entries of the Chillin Chronicles or playthroughs of the many games that I do play. But without further ado, let's dive in. So, this week, or this episode, I should say, just kind of wanted to talk about the Xbox Summer Showcase and kind of what to expect with that there. It is just going to be me kind of covering this real quick, kind of running through. So they did announce that the Xbox Summer Showcase will be on June 9th at 1 p.m., which we probably will be covering over on the podcast channel. Shout out to the merch here, courtesy of my fiance. But it has so much potential being one of the biggest showcases ever, and they just have so much in store, and especially with the acquisition here of Activision Blizzard, so they do have a ton up their sleeves. So diving in here though, we're gonna talk about like a little bit of what we can almost assume or expect to see at the showcase. Given that at the beginning of the year they did have the showcase covering up like what's coming out this year, I do think we get more like solid release dates and some more trailers for like Avowed, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Ara History Untold, Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, and obviously Call of Duty, excuse me, Call of Duty 2024, even though they will have a separate showcase that does follow the main summer one. Um, I also believe that we're going to see some new hardware revealed here because Cerebon has said that we should be seeing some new hardware here for the holiday season, and I think the summertime would be perfect timing to announce it, like what is coming, because like we're not sure. Like there's a lot of rumors talking about the Xbox handheld. We're talking about like a mid-gen refresh possibly to compete with the PS5 Pro. Maybe even talk about like next gen because they're talking about moving to the next gen much quicker than normal, or even we might see a new Elite controller because honestly, it's time. Like I don't have an Elite Series 1 or 2 because it doesn't have that share button that the Xbox Series X controllers have. And to me it's really vital to my experience of playing the game and having that quick access to screenshots or recording and different things like that. So there's a lot to do with the Elite controller, especially if they want to add like a lot of the features that the PS5 controller has. I do know that they did send out an email looking for recommendations or thoughts on some of these features and whether or not they should bring it to the Xbox controller. So only time will tell on that. But some logical or realistic predictions from me personally that I think we could see at the show, or these games just have some kind of weight to it, is obviously Fable. I think we might see an update to Fable, um, or even Fallout remake, aka or remaster, or they even might pass the torch off to a different studio to make like a side game, kind of like New Vegas, because Fallout obviously is huge right now. The TV show was booming. It revitalized all of the games. I mean, there was over 5 million people playing the Fallout game since the show dropped. So it's like Xbox should capitalize on this by at least giving us a remaster or a remake of say Fallout 3 or even 1 and 2. That'd be perfect. But speaking of remakes, obviously there's been a lot of talks of the Gears of War collection or Marcus Phoenix collection, and that would actually be nice too. But they gotta announce or at least tease us where Gears of War 6. Gears 5 was a last gen game that looks actually pretty phenomenal on the Series X, especially with the DLC that eventually came out for that. And Gears is just a pillar of Xbox. Like Xbox like has Halo, Gears, Forza are like the ones that come to my mind first when I do think of Xbox. Not talking about Bethesda games or Activision Blizzard, but those are the main reasons why I have always bought an Xbox was because of those three. It's time for a new Gears game. But speaking of Forza, Forza Horizon 6 could be revealed here as well. It's been a few years, and Playground Games usually turns out a new one, no pun intended there, every like 2 to 3 years, and it's about that time. And I loved Forza Horizon 5. I beat it. I actually still play it from time to time, and I do prefer it over the Motorsport series. So I'm just eager to see what they do with Horizon 6. I do think we'll see some updates to some smaller games like Stalker 2 and Replace. These are some indie developed games, obviously being delayed due to the war over in Ukraine. Unfortunate there, but they're working hard and trying to get through and manage what they can manage. So hopefully we do see those updates there. Maybe even get like a solid release date or at least a release window. on when to expect the game. I do know Stalker 2 is supposed to come out in September, so I hope that stays the same. But to round us some maybe realistic predictions too, we could see some updates to like their multiplayer live service games like Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2. I think they're a bit of a no brainer, and they can definitely do a lot there with that. I know a lot of people have been diving back into Diablo 4 with the recent updates, making it a little bit more accessible. So only time will tell. But moving on here to the next part, I want to talk about some outlandish or unexpected predictions, and I only got a couple here. It's only three. Um, a new Halo game. As much as I would love to see what is next for the Halo franchise, I do not think it's in their cards for them this year. But I mean, I think that would blow the showcase away. Like, oh shit, Halo 7 or whatever they want to call it next. It's coming out, boys, because I've been playing a lot of Halo. Obviously, we streamed it earlier in the day. If you guys are watching it later, we were playing here on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. So, shout out to that. But another game that we could probably not see, but we're all dying for an update is Everwild, the game from Rare Studios. We have not seen it since like 2017 or 18. It's been a long time, and the game's kind of been in like turmoil and going through restructuring and repurposing, and they're like trying to figure out what exactly they do plan on making. So I don't expect it there, but everyone would be excited to see that there. Last but not least is Elder Scrolls 6. Obviously, we know it has been announced. No updates. We do know it's a long ways off, but if we see it there at the show, Bethesda's just on fire right now. Starfield major update coming out. I think we could also see. I didn't even talk about it earlier. Starfield's Shattered Space DLC will probably be at the showcase as well. Like, there's just a lot going on. But because there is a lot going on, I pose a question of, will there be a second extended showcase like they've been doing over the past few years? I personally believe so because there's just so much to talk about right now. If all of those games I've already mentioned wasn't enough, you got to think about there's a bunch of games they've already announced that we have not seen updates for in such a long time. And here's a couple of them. You got Perfect Dark, Contraband, Arc 2, Clockwork Revolution, which was just announced last year though, State of Decay 3, South of Midnight, The Outer Worlds 2, and all of those other indie games that they have also announced. So Xbox has a ton in store for us to game over the next long time. They're going to be turning games out month after month, year after year, and just a wide variety, which is awesome. Instead of playing the typical third person story open world game that PlayStation keeps giving us, Xbox gives us a wide variety of games, and that's awesome to see. But that is everything there that I wanted to talk about. So I do want to close out this week or this entry into the Chillin Chronicles by reminding everyone to subscribe to the channel and also hit that bell icon if you like to never miss out on any of the uploads of the Chillin Chronicles along with any playthroughs that I got for you. But I would also love to hear what you guys' thoughts on the Xbox Summer Showcase, what your expectations are, whether they're realistic or unexpected, and even what your thoughts on like an extended showcase or not. Definitely love to see it. Drop a comments there at the bottom there. But when you do want to thank everyone again, and until next time, peace.